Thanks for tuning in. Today I want to do a what's in my bag and first impressions on my Chanel 19 bag. It's right over here, and I purchased this, I want to say a couple months ago now. I got it right as the lockdowns were getting lifted and boutiques were resuming their phone orders and shipments and things like that. I've actually been using this bag a lot in the past couple months that I had it, and I had some immediate reactions, if you will, to using it that I thought would be helpful to share. So I wanted to film this actually a little bit sooner than I typically film my what's in my bag and first impression videos. But I have quite a bit to get through, so I'm going to dive right into it. Let me first go over the actual bag that I have. So this is my Chanel 19. This is in the maxi size from the spring summer 2020 collection. So it came in that, I think it's called like a Chanel Love print or something like that, but it's the kind of Paris rooftop print. It's the 19 style, so it has that very elaborate chain with like 6 different metals on it with the big buckle in the front, a magnetic slip pocket in the back, and it's pretty much one large open compartment in the inside. So I'll go ahead and share what's inside my bag. Let me open it up. You'll see the flap opens, and there's a pink fabric interior, one zip pocket in the back that I typically don't use. I just stuff all of my stuff in the inside. So I'm gonna lay it down and pull things out. So first and foremost are a pair of sunglasses. Usually I don't like carrying a large bulky case because my bags tend to be on the smaller side and I feel like they take up a lot of space, and I prefer a soft case for that reason. For this bag, because it's pretty large, I left my sunglass case in there. These are a Privé Revaux pair of sunglasses that I have, and this bag fits the whole case no problem. I also have a little portable fan. It's a USB charging fan. I've been getting some questions about this when I carry it out in the city. I actually purchased this in Korea, but I'm pretty sure there are versions available like on Amazon, so I will link some down below if you're interested. This is perfect for when it's hot outside. Like, I'll just turn it on and it just blows some air, and it's a lifesaver when it's hot and humid outside and there's no air circulating anywhere. I think I already mentioned that it's a USB charging item, so it's totally portable and the charge lasts a really long time. If you hear some random clanging noises, that's because there's a neighboring apartment that is doing some construction, and you might be hearing some of that come through, so I'm sorry about that. I'm going to do my best to talk during the periods when there's no clanging. Of course, I have a hand sanitizer because of the world that we live in right now, and I just carry a tiny bottle around with me just so I have it in case I need to use it. I have a little Fendi pouch. This is actually a key pouch because there is a little keychain in there. Let me try and grab it. There's a little keychain. I use this as like my little everything pouch. So I have some band-aids in here, some hair ties, like the little tiny rubber elastics. I have a lipstick, a lip balm, and my eye drops in here. So that's pretty much all that I carry in this small little case. It's like a catch-all makeup case. Of course, I have my wallet. This is my only full-size wallet in my collection. The Hermes, I almost called it the Oran, the Hermes compact Bearn wallet, and I absolutely love this wallet, but not too many handbags will fit the large, full-size wallet, but this bag definitely has enough room to spare for this piece. And then I also actually carry a notebook. This is my notebook for YouTube, my YouTube ideas and all of that stuff. So I carry this and a pen in there with me because usually I'm using this bag when I'm trying to go somewhere to get some work done, or if I have other meetings that I need to do, I like to have a notebook where I can write all of the takeaways and things like that down. So that's what I really love about this bag, is that I can fit a whole notebook in there. And then of course I would have my keys, which I don't have with me right now. They're actually hanging up because I am inside my apartment, which means I needed my keys to get inside. Of course my keys would also be in here, but that's pretty much everything that I would normally carry in this bag. That's everything that fits. By all means, you could add more pieces. You could fit more things in here. Absolutely. That's not full capacity. I'd say that's about 70% capacity. Like a lot more things can fit in. I don't even like have anything in the slip pocket on the back. So you can definitely fit more than what I just showed you. That's just typically what I would carry in here because I don't carry too much stuff with me. But like if you had a water bottle or something, that would easily fit in here. If you had like a key clay with more keys, because you had like car keys and home keys and office keys and all of that, that would definitely also fit in here too. So that's everything that fit in the bag. I'll move over to now my first impressions, some of the pros and cons that I'm experiencing with this piece. So one of the main pros of this is definitely its size and how roomy it is. It's one of the reasons why I chose to add it to my collection, because I don't have a lot of medium to large size handbags. Most of mine are small to mini. So I thought this would be a great piece to have, be a bag that has more space, that has a lot more space actually. And I like that it's a fabric bag and not the leather bag, because to me it makes it a lot less high maintenance, and it also makes the bag very, very light. It is not heavy at all. The heaviest part is actually the chain up here, which I'm not the hugest fan of, but oops. But yeah, it's really most of the weight is in the chain rather than the weight being in the bag itself. I like that it has that back pocket with the magnetic closure. It makes it easy to put like my cell phone, or if I'm like carrying around that fan, it makes it easy for me to pop it in there for a second if I need to use both of my hands. I really, really like it. I feel like this back pocket is a lot more easier to use than like the back pocket that you have, the Mona Lisa pocket you have on the classic flaps, because those are like leather and they're also a portion of the back, rather than this, this slip pocket on the back is like the whole back piece. So you can imagine like the amount of space that you have to be able to open it. Plus it's a fabric bag, so it opens and closes a lot. Like the opening is very flexible. It's very easy to make it wide and stuff like that, versus a more restrictive like leather piece that wouldn't have as much give. So that back pocket is really handy when I'm out on the street and I'm holding something and I all of a sudden need to use my hands. It's really easy to put that in that back pocket and be hands-free in pretty much an instant. I don't know if this is really a pro, but it's something that I noticed at the handles, and the multi-metalness of the handles haven't bothered me. When I first unboxed it, I thought the handles, based on like the noise and the weight they have, that it might be clanking a bit while I use the piece, but there's no clanking noise that happens. It actually just rests on the bag. Like this handle at the top just rests on the bag really easily, and the long straps usually on my shoulder, there's no clanking there. So I find it actually not really a problem. I initially thought that it might be. But the biggest thing for me that I love about this bag is the print and the colorway that it has. I historically didn't really care for the Chanel 19 style when it first came out, because I felt like there was a little too much going on. I think I shared this in the unboxing video as well, but it was just like a little too much. There was that interwoven leather chain piece for the CC in the front. Then there's all the different kind of metals that happen on the straps and the top handle. And then there's also the actual bag that has diamond quilting on it. And I was just like, all of it seems like it's a little too much for me. But when I saw it in this particular print, I felt like the print made it really really hip, made it really young, made it really fresh, and it almost made the extra bits of all of the hardware like seem like it makes sense almost. Like, oh, you're kind of like, oh yeah, it goes with the bag. Like it totally makes sense that it would be a little extra and have all this like flashy hardware on it and things like that. So I fell in love with this style really because of the print itself more than anything. So I love the print, I love the size, and I love the ease of use that this bag has. But moving on to some of the things that I don't necessarily love about this bag. The first like the main thing is that the front flap puckers a little bit when you have things in it, but you carry it on your shoulder. I'm gonna do my best to show you right now. It might not show as much because there really isn't anything in this bag right now. I took all of my items out, but you'll see that the flaps, they will kind of pucker a little bit. They'll make that little V. So you can imagine when you put heavier things in here, it will push this down a little bit more. As you use the shoulder strap and then there's the heavier items in your bag that's pulling it down a little bit, this V starts to become a little bit prominent. But that's not my favorite feature of this bag. I know it's because the bag itself doesn't have a lot of structure. It's because it is so soft. But yeah, it just bothers me every time I see it, as much as the clanging is bothering me upstairs. So it's mostly just an inevitable aspect of this bag because it is a fabric piece, because it doesn't have as much structure, and it doesn't bother me to the point that I'm like, oh my god, I can never use this bag. It's more just I notice it and I'm not a huge fan of it, but I figured I'd mention it to you guys so that you can see it as well. It might bother you more than it bothers me. It's just more of an FYI. Another comment is the silk seems a little bit delicate on this bag. I know it's the print that really made me fall in love with this particular handbag. I know it's the fact that it's a fabric bag that I also loved, but once I got it and once I was handling it, once I was carrying it out a little bit, I felt like the silk is actually a little delicate. It's not as delicate as some other very like sateen, like shiny silk handbags I've seen before. Those definitely seem like, you know, you could touch it and it would like get a snag in it or something like that. So it's not that delicate, but it does seem a little bit more delicate than I initially thought that it would be. I felt like, you know, this could have been a little bit more of a hardier fabric, but it's all good. I still enjoy it. When I unboxed it, someone asked me if I would be using like a fabric protectant spray on it. I opted not to go down that route. It is a fabric bag and I kind of want to use it in that merit, if that makes sense. I don't really want to have to baby it too much and things like that. So I opted not to use a protective spray, but I'm sure if you wanted to spray your bag, it would add a layer of protection that might make it easier for you to use. One other thing about this bag is because it doesn't have a lot of structure, it doesn't sit very well on its own upright. When it's filled with items and the items are a bit heavier, of course it sits up pretty well, but because the handles, because the metalware on it is so heavy, it tends to make the bag more top heavy and the bottom is lighter. So basically when you set it down, the top, because it's heavier, it kind of pushes it down. Sometimes it has a harder time staying up. I find myself like either hooking it onto, like hanging it on the back of a chair, or I just lay it on my lap rather than trying to make it sit up somewhere, because sometimes it'll just keep falling, and at that point I'm like, all right, I'm over it. Like it's just sitting on my lap. So because it doesn't have a lot of structure, it won't sit upright very easily. I mention that because a lot of the other Chanel bags that I have are all pretty much classic flaps. So, you know, they all have a very sturdy base and they're all a leather piece, so they're all very structured, you know what I mean? Like those, you set them down, you just set it down. There's no maneuvering, there's no adjusting, it just sits upright on its own just fine. This one needs a little bit of maneuvering to make it happen. I have a bag twin on Instagram. She DM'd me that she also has this item, and we were talking about bag organizers and whether I was going to get one for this bag. I personally don't plan on it. If I really needed to use a bag organizer, I feel like the one that I have for my Birkin 30 would fit inside here just fine. And because of that, I decided not to get a specific one for this handbag. I was commenting on how I didn't like the front flap, the top flap puckering, but I do like the fact that it's not very structured. I feel like given the size of the bag, if I were to put a bag insert in it, it would make it a little too structured and the whole width would be like on full display. It would make the bag a bit bulkier, and against my frame, I don't think that would be the best look. At least that's not the look that I'm going for. I like that it's a little less structured. I like that it can get a little squished, you know, width-wise. And be a little bit smaller or thinner that way and help with the proportions against my body. So that's why I chose not to use a bag organizer, but I think you can totally use one, no problem. And if you have one already for like your Birkin 30 or something like that, I think it would fit and you could be able to use the same one in this handbag as well. And the last piece that isn't my favorite necessarily is that the shoulder strap is kind of short and I can't do a crossbody with this bag. Initially, I thought it would bother me a lot more. It doesn't bother me as much as I thought it would. I do like using it just on my shoulder. I think given the size, if it was a crossbody, it might have been a little bit too big. So I can kind of understand that part, but sometimes I do wish it was long enough to be a crossbody, only because I like my moments of hands-freeness and I can't be quite hands-free because this bag is still only a shoulder bag, and if I were to lean over, the bag would kind of come down with me. So something to be mindful of in case you are thinking about adding this piece or thinking about adding, comparing it with some other styles. This one doesn't crossbody very well on my frame. So net, I absolutely love this bag. I'm really happy that it's in my collection. Like I said, I purchased it mostly because I don't have that many mid to large size handbags. The only other one that I have is the Chanel Deauville. So if you would like to see a comparison between the Deauville and the 19 that I have, then let me know in the comments down below and I would be happy to do that video as well. But I love having it and I love using it for when I know I have more things I need to carry with me. I'm able to fit all of those things, no problem. No like major Tetris going on in my bag, and I can easily fit everything, carry everything, and bring them out with me. So I love the usability and the just design, the ease of use that it has in this particular style. I do think this is the only Chanel 19 bag I'm going to own in my collection. I won't say never, but I do much prefer the 19s in the fabric versions versus the leather versions. And now that I have one, I just don't think there is that much room for another one to exist in my collection, but who knows? As of now, I guess for me what that means is as of now, this really satisfies the needs that I have and also satisfies what I would expect or want out of a Chanel 19 bag, and that's why I don't feel like I need to get another one. Hey guys, just wanted to pop in here to remind you to watch my latest collective haul video. I'll link it above and in the description so you can check it out. It's giveaway time. You still have time to enter, so go check out the video after this one so you don't miss any of the details. I feel like I'm rapidly losing sunlight, so I'm going to wrap up the video here. That was what's in my bag and first impressions on my Chanel 19 bag. If you have any other questions on the handbag or really anything at all, feel free to leave those down below or head on over to Instagram and I'd be happy to help however I can. If you like this video and you found this review helpful, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate all of your feedback and support. If you like this video and you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every Sunday with bonus videos during the week. So until next time, bye!